There is a topic that has been recently pushed by Russian propaganda concerning Ukraine, which has to do with the supposedly lack of legality of the leadership in Ukraine right now, since there should have been elections and there were no elections in the country. So the leadership of Ukraine now is not representative of the people of Ukraine. This is very smartly done by Russian propaganda, because whatever the angle and the point of view that they look at it, they always win. Well, technically, it's very easy to explain. There is martial law in Ukraine. The country has been invaded. So, under martial law, there can be no elections in the country. That's the law of the land. Of course, I understand that in Russia, the law of the land is not really important because, well, they usually don't follow it, or only what Mr. Putin decides becomes law. So that's something that they are not used to have, which is countries that follow their own laws. And secondly, the other aspect of it is that, well, even if Ukraine would try to organize some sort of elections, there would be obviously parts of the territory that would not be able to vote because they are occupied by the invader, by Russians. So how would they be able to hear and get the vote of those populations if basically they are under occupation? I know, in Russia they are used to vote under the barrel of a gun, with guns pointed at them. But literally, that's not something that civilized countries usually do. They don't vote under the barrel of a gun. So any elections that would take place would not have the votes of those occupied areas or territories. So basically, not all Ukrainians would have the opportunity to have their say. The other aspect is also any elections that would take place now in Ukraine, there would be an excellent opportunity for Russia to interfere in them, to try to manipulate them. And that's something that they are used to do. So they would obviously appreciate that opportunity. They even possibly even get one of their candidates elected. That would be perfect. The perfect plan. They wouldn't need to continue the war because their candidate would deliver the country to Russia. So that's also a possibility that they would like definitely to explore. So basically, there is no conditions in which Ukraine would go out of this process. They cannot hold elections because, well, the law of the country says so, and for that they are criticized. But if they would hold elections, there would be no possibility to hear the whole population of Ukraine. So basically you could question the legitimacy of any winner of those elections, because at least 20% of the territory would be occupied by a foreign invader. So they like to bring this topic just to so that we question the legitimacy of the leadership in Ukraine, when there is no question whatsoever about that legitimacy. Ukraine is being ruled by elected leaders that, as soon as the invader Russia gets out of their country, will have elections and democracy will work once again.